IrixGuy here. Welcome back to another live show. And haven't done a live show in a while. I've been revamping the studio. So there we go. So we're live again, IrixGuy's live show. This is episode 100. So I appreciate your viewership. Been doing a lot in the studio. Actually, I've got a video uploading now. Be able to see all the enhancements that I've been adding to the IrixGuy's Adventure Channel studio. So 2021, without a doubt, will be best year yet for IrixGuy's Adventure Channel. And again, I appreciate your loyal viewership, your subscriptions, sharing with others, your super chats, your Patreon contributions. You know, that's everything that makes everything great here on IrixGuy's. So, you know, without your viewership, without your support, you know, this would not exist. I mean, this channel is, you know, I'm not part of a multi-channel network. I'm an independent YouTube channel. So, you know, everything you see here, and, you know, it is what it is. You know, this is real. This is real independent YouTuber doing a live show. So, now with that being said, I'm removing them here. Hold on a second. Oh, yeah. Yep. I've got some things uploading on the network here, so if we got a little bit of choppiness. Actually, I'm gonna cancel. Yeah, here, the congestion. Let's see. That's one of the things with the transition to Apple Silicon. One of the things I've done is optimize the workflow in the studio. So I've got, I've got the ability to go in and correct issues like we temporarily encountered with the, with the upstream. I was able to correct that. Now, there is a lot of stuff. I mean, there's stuff going on throughout the world right now that's impacted the internet. So, you know, there's factors that I can't. So, you know, at the live stream, it gets a little bit sketchy. You know, I'm doing everything I can to make everything again. Tech for your needs. Hello. Tech for your needs. Hello, sir. Wait, my sound effects board here. Hold on 1 second. Make sure I got that correct. I think I did a creepy sound. I didn't mean to do that. Philippe, welcome aboard. Yeah, I meant to do the here. Tech for your needs. Welcome aboard, man. Welcome aboard. Christmas was great. I hope that your Christmas was great as well. You know, just a very, a little bit of downtime in the middle, you know, a little bit of downtime among all the busy times, you know. It's just kind of how it is. But it was good, man. You know, I had a good time. Good time, friends, family, and had some booze. So you can't beat that. So I hope you had a good time. Philippe, what's up? How was your Christmas? Philippe, good to see you, man. Welcome back. Good to see you. It was absolutely fantastic. Had a ton of good food. Actually, right now, and you'll appreciate this because I know you're a French chef, but I'm actually in marination process right now. I've got a pork loin, and the pork loin is going to go into my electric smoker, and I'm going to smoke my pork loin on top of applewood. So that's going to be really good, I hope. So I've got my electric smoker project in motion. You know, I am running Apple Silicon now, as y'all can see here. I've got the gold iMac, not iMac, but gold MacBook Air. I get all these terms confused, but it's just a very small. Yeah, Philippe says he can't wait for the M2. dude, this M1 smokes. This M1 grossly trumps my Intel Core i9. So to be able to, to be able to see what, to be able to think about what the, what the M2 is going to bring to the table. I mean, that's just freaking nuts, man. I mean, thinking about how powerful that M2 processor is going to be. I mean, that is going to be phenomenally fast. I think I'm about to fix so the buffering issue should be corrected now. My network, I've got, I need to have a team here, but, one of the things like, being an independent YouTube channel, you don't have a team. So my team is me. It's, they always say, we, not me. Well, it's me, not we, because there's not a team. It's an independently owned and operated YouTube channel. So it's me, not we. So hopefully I just corrected the buffering. I appreciate the heads up on that. I'm looking at my command center over there, and I see in the control room that it shows my buffering may be decreasing. And I hope that's the case, because I had to, kill some network activity that was going on. You don't want too much network activity when you're doing a live show, especially, when you're a low budget YouTube channel and you've got your internet connection and that's it. You don't necessarily have any spare space in that lane. Think about an interstate. You may have 3 lanes on the interstate, 2, 3, whatever. But if all of those lanes are filled up with cars, it doesn't matter how many lanes you got. It's still going to be congested. And network congestion is no joke. It is no joke at all. It is not a joke. Philippe says, thank you so much. I'm waiting for the stimulus. Hopefully coming soon. Yes, I am a French chef. Dude, I know you're a French chef. We've talked about going to the Caribbean, all those great restaurants down there. And dude, I will tell you, out of all the cuisine, and I just like fattening, just horrible for your belly, horrible for your heart, horrible for your bowels, whatever. I like the greasy, deep-fried Southern cooking. There's nothing wrong with that. It's good. But when it comes to really quality, well-prepared food, I would have to say that French is at the top of the list. I've got, as far as having a quality food experience, a quality dining experience, French cuisine is probably the top of the ladder. I would say probably French, Swiss. You got a lot of fondue over there. That's pretty big. As far as presentation, just, well prepared, great ingredients. I think French and Swiss are probably the top. Now you do get into some things. You get into some more niche. Jake, welcome aboard, man. Welcome aboard. Welcome aboard. Do you have Maya, McKenna, and Katie? That's the big question. Do you have them? So there's a lot of good food out there, and I think that some of the best stuff, actually and this is more niche because it's not a huge. There's not a huge number of people living there, but some of the best food that is Katishan. Katishan, if you're not familiar with Katishan, well, what the heck's Katishan? Katishan, St. Kitts in the British West Indies. Some of the most unique and thoughtfully prepared meals that I had were in St. Kitts. Katishan food it's very unique. They use a lot of very local spices. They put a lot of experiences that have been passed down through into their food. So Katishan food is exceptionally excellent, and it's one of those things. It's one of those more dialed in demographics when it comes to food. But Katishan food, man, dude, I love Katishan food. Jake says, "Have I told you I got a 4-month-old Savannah kitten and now have 5 cats instead of 4?" Wow, man, you're balling, dude. Got Jake in the house. Ooh, this is good. Can't beat the rum, man. Yeah, so a bunch of stuff going on, man. I mean, we've got It's been a horrible year. I mean, it's 2020. I mean, what can you expect? And, to be frank, I mean, 2021 is only going to be worse. I mean, don't butter yourself up and say, oh, man, I can't wait for 2020 to be over. No. It's not like that. 2020 has been horrible, and 2021 will be worse. But if you mentally condition yourself for that, you will probably thrive during 2021 and beyond. And that's the thing I've been preaching to everyone. 2020 has been a horrible year. But despite the horrible nature of 2020, there's been a lot of things that have been discovered and a lot of opportunities that have been created. So, it's a matter of how one perceives this point in time and how they better prepare themselves to master 2021 and beyond. So, I'd be a fool to say, oh, dude, Italian food. I'll tell you some Italian food stories, Philippe. Actually, I think you may be in New York, man. There's a place, and I've got to get my phone. It's in Little Italy in New York, and oh man, this is going to drive me nuts. I think it starts with a P. It's in Little Italy in New York. I've got to get the name of the restaurant, and it's so good. Not Palermo's, not Portofino's. It starts with a P. It's in Little Italy in New York. It was the best Italian food I've ever eaten. And part of it was just the experience. I mean, the food was great. Like in Little Italy in New York, everything's kind of tight. You go in the restaurant, you go in the restroom, you can hardly stand up to pee because the bathroom's so narrow because space is so tight. But I remember when I was eating at that place, it was Katishan. I'm going to spell that for you. I think I spelled this correctly. Kititian. Katishan. Katishan for St. Kitts natives. St. Kitts in the British West Indies. Yeah, but it started with a P, and it was in Little Italy in New York. And I remember when I went in there, it was one of the things I remembered. I mean, it was straight up like, it seemed like, Little Italy, and there was people in there, and they were eating dinner with their family, and they had like a wad of bills like that big, and they were just passing out the bills to the waiter. They probably had like 30 people at their table, but it was just the just the experience in being in Little Italy in an authentic Italian restaurant that was really cool. I love Italian. Yeah, 2022 is going to be even worse. This world's going straight to hell. I mean, there's no doubt about it. I hate to say that. It is. I mean, everything is, everything is on the table to make everything just plummet. And I hate to say it, I'm an optimist, but I'm also a realist. And, by being a realist, I will tell you, not just you, but I will tell everyone that, what we've seen in 2020 is a gift. We should feel is a great year. 2020 has been an awesome year because it's only going to get worse. And I hate to say that. I'm not trying to be a pessimist. I'm probably one of the most optimistic people you ever meet, but I am a realist as well. And, I feel that I do speak the truth. I know I'm speaking the truth, and I hope y'all feel that way too. So it's only going to get worse before it gets better. But, something I'm looking is just going to, getting in a crowded place and not having to worry about catching this whatever virus, whether it exists or not, who knows? But, it's crazy. Jake says, I've had my Savannah kitten for a while. She is a little bundle of energy and can behave like a demon sometimes, like my Bengal girls can be. Bengal. There you go. So, yeah, things are about to get, whoa, yeah. That rum, man, you can't beat rum from Barbados. I tell you, not the Barbadians, but the, I'm trying to think of the word. Bajan. The Bajan people, it's, it's a craft. I mean, rum is not something that you just, take out to some, little factory on the side of the street and create rum. Rum comes from hundreds of years of perfection. I mean, it definitely does. Jake says, I'm actually snuggling with my 2 Bengal kitties and my Savannah kitten, Leah, right now. There you go. Cool, man. Yeah, I bet it's cold up there in Canada, man. Having that fur keeps you warm. There you go. It keeps you warm. So just a bunch of stuff going on. I tell you, Apple, man, Apple with this Apple Silicon. I'm playing with my Apple Silicon right now. This stuff is a game changer. And what's funny about it is that looking at Apple Silicon right now, this is generation number 1, the M1, the Mic Uno, the Mic 1. It's only going to get faster. But what's funny is that the first generation Apple Silicon M1, grossly trumps the performance of the fastest Intel Mac computers. And that's what's so funny. It's like, Apple was just so cool about it. It's like, yeah, we're coming out with Apple Silicon. And, actually, I think it was Philippe was one for sure, and a few other viewers had, they were talking about Apple Silicon, and, I was the idiot that was kind of downplaying it. It's like, yeah, that's going to be energy efficient, kind of a GIMP, performance experience, and this, that, and the other. Dude, I was totally wrong. Apple Silicon came out, and when Apple Silicon came out, it grossly trumped even the fastest Intel Mac computers. So that was completely unexpected. It was not foreshadowed by Apple's launch event. Apple was just so cool, and they just casually announced their Apple Silicon Macs without saying that it would grossly trump the performance of the Intel Macs. I guess they didn't want to hamper I guess they didn't want to damage their relationship with Intel going forward, because, it's so dramatically faster. And not just faster, but the battery life. With Apple Silicon, with the Apple Silicon M1 Max, the battery life is so much better. The performance is better. The battery life is better. It doesn't run hot. You put your laptop on your lap, it doesn't burn your crotch. So, what more could you want? Jake says, COVID-19 vaccines are going to start being available here in Ontario. In fact, across Canada is April of 2022, this April coming year. Philippe says, don't worry, Joe Biden is our new president. He's the solution to America. Oh, I don't talk politics, but I don't think that's the case, Philippe. May a house be divided. And again, my honest opinion is that the Illuminati controls the world. The Illuminati has a plan, and the Illuminati is going to screw us all over. And not to be negative, but what you're seeing here in the United States of America, as much as I hate to say this, what you're seeing here, at least what I'm seeing, and again, my opinion is, share your feedback. Everyone share your feedback. This is not going to be political, but what I see happening here is that we're slipping into socialism. So, if you were an entrepreneur, if you were a capitalist, if what motivated you was going out and making money, and having nice trips and things and being able to see the reward, as a product of your efforts, if you enjoyed all that, unfortunately, I think that's about to change, because I think that there's a hidden momentum that, it's not necessarily people can see it. Even if you can't see it, you can feel it. But there's this undercurrent. That's the best way to put it. This undercurrent that's about to destroy America as we know it. And I hate to say that, because I'm an optimist and I'm a capitalist and I'm an entrepreneur. And, I think there's a lot of things that, people should feel good about. And one of those things is, whatever you do, are you a YouTuber? Are you a chef? Are you an entrepreneur? Are you in the construction industry? What is your business? What do you do to make yourself happy? And what do you do to try to financially better yourself? And then you inject what's called socialism. And socialism is not fun. Socialism, you can say it with a smile and a grin. Socialism is not fun. Basically, what socialism is everyone is equal. So inevitably what happens is that it doesn't matter how motivated you may be. It doesn't matter how intelligent you may be. None of that matters, because regardless of your abilities, whether it be intellectually or physically or whatever your abilities may be, in a world that's controlled, in a socialist world, you are only a number. That's all you are. So, you can't trump the performance of anyone else. You can't exceed your own, oh, Philippe, I appreciate that. You can't, surpass your feelings of accomplishment, because you hit a point to where you're just like everyone else. You're just a number. So what's the joy of living in that world? It's, one thing I've always learned, and whatever it is, whether it's mowing grass, pushing a lawnmower, or whether it's going out and selling real estate, or whether it's working at a fast food joint, whatever your career path is, if you choose to put everything you can into that career path, you want to move forward, not just move forward financially, but move forward opportunity-wise. If you want to move forward, what you put in may enable you to advance more quickly. In a socialist society, what we have is everyone is equal. And, the people that are doing really well, they're taxed more heavily because they've got to pay for other people's laziness. And I personally don't feel that that's appropriate. I'm not a multimillionaire yet, and I'm ashamed of myself. I'm not a multimillionaire yet. But in my mind, I feel that I have the mentality of a multimillionaire. But I'm not a multimillionaire yet, and I'm ashamed of myself. But what I don't like are people that expect a handout. People that I could do whatever I want to do and not even work and live the same lifestyle of someone that really pushes, innovates, and tries to make it. I don't think that's fair. Life's not fair. There's things that we can't control as people that are part of a society. There's things we cannot control, but there's things we can control, and those things that we can control are, number one, ourselves. Can we motivate ourselves to perform? Can we motivate ourselves to say, okay, next time when I go to that restaurant, I don't want to just get the entree, or I don't want to just get the cheeseburger. Next time when I go to that restaurant, I want to order the appetizer, I want to order the best entree, I want to order the best dessert, and I want to order an egg, because I've earned it, because I've created that opportunity for myself. So many people in society today don't think like that. They think everything is a handout. That is socialism. It's wrong. It's not just financially wrong. It's ethically wrong. And, I can't say it's morally wrong, but I would say it's ethically wrong and it's financially wrong. So in this society may be deemed unfair by many, but how many times have you played a sport, a team sport, and you've been a failure? And other people were so much better just because they had better skills. They had natural born abilities. They were able to hit the ball better. They were able to catch the ball better. And you were sitting on the sidelines. How many times has that happened? And, maybe you were the number one athlete on the team, but if you weren't, did you sit in the dugout? Did you sit on the sidelines and say that it's unfair because your teammate not only went to college baseball, not only went to college baseball, but also went pro, and not only did they go pro, but they got multi-million dollars just sign-on bonus? Did you ever say that wasn't fair? See, that's socialism right there. You know, you may not have had the abilities, the physical abilities to be as good on the playing field as, but when you're sitting in the dugout and you're watching them play, did you just say, well, because they got it, that they should be passing down, they got a sign-on bonus for a professional team, so that should be divided among X number of people, X number of people on the team. That's socialism. It's not a good thing. That individual had a gift. That individual was able to put their skills to use and financially improve their life. Not just their life, but their family and whatever. They did it because they had a skill. They recognized they had a skill. They put that skill to use, and they made a bunch of money doing it. You may not be the best athlete, and maybe you're sitting in the dugout. I don't think when you sit in the dugout, you say, hey, so-and-so on my team was so goodful. They should divide their wealth. They should share their wealth with everyone. That's the wrong way to look at it. That's the way that a socialist would look at it. The way that I would look at it is that, okay, I'm in the dugout. Obviously baseball is not my thing. Professional baseball is not going to make me a multimillionaire. I played baseball, but I'm not, a pro at it. But what can I do? What can I do to make myself a multimillionaire? And, maybe you don't want to be a multimillionaire. Maybe that's outside of your wheelhouse. Maybe you say, okay, well, I'll get a few $100,000 and I'll be content. That's up to you to determine, what defines happiness and success in your mind. But the problem with socialism is that people sit on the sidelines and they feel that just because one person that they're watching makes, a huge financial gain, that should be divided. That's not fair. Everyone has the opportunity to pursue their own path in society. And, if your path is, insert profession here, medical profession, tons of money. If your path is lawyer, tons of money. If your path is entrepreneur, uncertain, but, possibility of a lot of profitability. Whatever your path is, you know yourself better than anybody else does. And, I'm not here to shun any political group, whether you're Republican or Democrat or whatever. I don't care. But what I'm here to tell you, you being viewers of my channel, I've been around the block, dude. I have seen failure. I have seen, in the places I've been, I have seen extreme poverty. I've seen wealth that will blow your freaking mind. I have seen it all. And, I don't come from wealth at all, dude. I'm just like some lower middle class dude, and it's one of those things, you got to choose your path in life. And, something I've always chosen and I've adhered to, and this is since childhood, just been some dude with a lawnmower. Just a crappy lawnmower that didn't even have you couldn't even step on it and, get lazy and ride. You had to push it. It's doing a push mower. Well, I'm going out and I'm a kid. And how am I going to make money? How am I going to create a better tomorrow? Not just for myself, but for my family. So, it's one of those deals. It's a tough question, and when you're making, at the time, and, granted, this was back in the late 80s and the early 90s, you're mowing a yard and you're making maybe, $15, $20 US, that's not a lot of money. Yeah. Inflation, take that to, fast forward to today, and that's a more significant amount of money, but it's still not a lot of money. How do you take that money and how do you turn that into an opportunity? For me, mowing the grass was just something that I did because it was a vehicle that I could hop on and potentially obtain future success. And it's I'm going to read some comments here. Philippe says, I hear you, but about education, if your parents are rich, you are going to the best schools, even if you're a dummy. But if you're poor, you're smart, well, too bad, you cannot go. Philippe says, let's see. Also about healthcare, if you are rich, you can visit the best doctors, but if you're poor, too bad. Take for your needs says, that speaks volumes of the person you are. I appreciate that. Take for your needs says, that is not true because if you are very smart, you can make it into any school. Yes, your GPA must be very high, but it is not impossible. I'm seeing, you know what's funny? And here's the thing, man. And I just, dude, I appreciate this. I appreciate this banter back and forth. You know, I was, and not to toot my own horn, but, you know, apparently I was like genius level. You know, I had, you know, I was top of my class. I was Duke Talent Search, all this, you know, all these credentials on paper, this, that, and the other, but I always wanted more. And, you know, it's not the more because I want the bragging rights. It's the more because I want to make a difference. And I think it's something that, you know, people in society, you know, just back to mowing the grass, you know, you're mowing grass, you're making a minimal amount of money, but for that age and to be able to have the opportunity to push a mower, get exercise, and turn it into currency that can then be reinvested, a huge thing. I took that lawn mowing money, I invested in the stock market, and I did all right, you know, and that was the first, you know, it's not material goods. It's not material goods that define one's success. Material goods are a trophy of sorts. You know, you get things and it's like, well, you know, I got this because I wanted to commemorate whatever accomplishment, this, that, and the other, you know, whatever it may be. You know, material goods are just kind of like a trophy that you can continue to enjoy. You know, and it's one of those things with you know, the world that we're in, the risk that we all have, right? The uncertainty, rather, I should say, that we're all part of right now is, you know, what's tomorrow going to bring? And I know that sounds kind of like a vague statement, but no, what is tomorrow going to bring? Because we are in this uncertain society right now. What tomorrow is going to bring? And, you know, we can use history books to attempt to better predict what tomorrow may bring. We can watch the news. Oh, no. The media are out of my books. I never watch the news, but some people do watch the news, and they watch the news because they think it's going to make them better, to make themselves more proficient with predicting what they should do tomorrow, which is, you know, it's risky. And I mean, you know, bottom line is this, is that, you know, we're all part of this world. You know, I'm part of this world. I'm a, you know, low budget YouTube channel, whatever. You know, this is just one of the things I do. I run a bunch of companies. I do it because I enjoy business. I enjoy risk. I enjoy entrepreneurship, and I hate being lazy. So, you know, it's not all about the dollar amount. And, you know, in this year, this 2020 that we're in right now is an unexpected example of how things can change. You know, 2020 that we're all a part of right now, I mean, I was living on my high horse, dude. You know, I've got IrixGuy's Venture channel. I'm an independent YouTube channel, you know, low budget channel, but I'm able to generate enough to be able to travel, do what I enjoy doing, get out in the Caribbean. This unexpected 2020 virus has gimped everything I've done. You know, I have not traveled anywhere outside of the country this year, and that's because of the virus. So, you know, you can predict what tomorrow may bring. And, you know, that brings up the point, you know, everyone should do everything in their power to better diversify their pursuit. And by that, I mean, you know, if you got that is travel oriented and then travel at least temporarily ceases to exist, you're kind of in a pickle. And admittedly, that's where I am right now. You know, I've got a heavy travel component on my channel, and because of the current situation, I've been able to travel as much as I would like to. And travel for me is not going to some rinky-dink whatever. I mean, I'm not saying my, because it's not. You know, I'm sleeping in a cheap, a cheap vacation rental, or sleeping in a tent or whatever. You know, I may be in, ooh, that's an exotic location. You know, I mean, I may be sleeping by a multi-billion-dollar yacht, but I may be in a tent and eating Lunchables. So, you know, it's just it's just, Philippe said, with education, if you cannot access to a good education, then there's a good chance you will not get a good education unless your parents had a lot of money. Philippe says, I love the United States, but two things missing to be fair to everyone are education and healthcare equal for everyone. Once we are set, then it's fair game for everyone. Jake says, I'm nervous with push mowers as I had a bad injury from having a push mower fly off somehow and hit my legs, and I had to get some stitches and quite a few. Oh, man, that sounds painful. Philippe says, I'd like to hear both sides, CNN versus Fox News. You know, actually, CNN and Fox News both are liberal right now. I would say Newsmax. Newsmax, probably the other spectrum. I mean, it's twisted how everything is shifted. I mean, you know, politically, everything has changed. Tech for your needs are not rich, but I made it happen to my best of my abilities. There is something that I don't speak about because I'm not about showing off. 16th, I was in the White House, part 2. Dude, I've been, hand in hand with George W. Bush. You know, there's things that you can do. Yeah, I mean, you can't tech for your needs. I don't think there's anything wrong with saying that. I mean, you know, there's experiences you have, people you meet, things you do. I don't think it's being boastful. You know, I think it's perfectly acceptable that you said that. I mean, it's just tech for your needs says part 2. The moral of the story is I made it happen. Mine, my parents, everything is handed to me. Jake says, or CBC Ottawa. Tech for your needs, that means a lot. I mean, you know, there are people that, here, well, let me step back from this statement. I'll put it as politely as I can. There are people that are born into privilege, and there are people that are born into that, and even though they're born into that, they still continue to lead a life that makes them not stand out in a negative way. There are people that are born into privilege that take that to their advantage. And they just say, hey, I'm never going to work. I'm never going to do anything. And those are the people that, you know, whether it's a few million or a few 100 million, they often just like go through that like water. And then they're nobody because they have nothing to stand on. They have no resume. If they go in anywhere, they can't say anything. They just say, well, I'm just a son or daughter of so-and-so. You know, at that point in time, they're nobody because people just laugh at them. It's like, well, what'd you do with yourself? You know, if I was born into privilege, if I was born into, let's say, a multi-millionaire family and I had hundreds of millions, the first thing I would have done would have been to consult with an outside person that I trusted. You know, someone to say, okay, you know, let's invest this. You know, let's create me a fallback plan. You know, should my ventures fail, create a fallback plan. And that way I've got all that money reinvested, potentially making more money, and then I can pursue my own entrepreneurial pursuits. I didn't have that. You know, I had some yard money and, you know, I mowed some grass and I turned it into, you know, I want to insert dollars here, but I turned it into, you know, enough to fuel my ventures. My venture now is social media. I love social media. And I think, you know, even being an independent YouTuber like I am, you know, seeing this channel is almost to 80,000 subscribers. I want to get it to 100,000 subscribers ASAP. You've got to do that. So everybody you know that you're visiting with during the holidays, say, hey man, subscribe to IrixGuy's Venture channel, youtube.com/IrixGuy. And they're like, well, who's that? Just tell them who I am. and just say, I want to get through 100,000 subscribers ASAP during 2021. I think metrics are important. You know, when you're dealing with social media, it's not just the metrics. I know so many people that are overly consumed with the metrics, and a lot of those people that are overly consumed with the metrics, and I don't know anybody personally, so don't ask. It's not like I'm calling anybody out, but you'll see the channels that go from, you know, maybe 50,000 subscribers to 200,000 subscribers pretty much overnight. And, you know, one can't help but to question, how did they do that? Was that organic? You know, there's always those uncertainties. And with this channel is independent. You know, this has been an experiment that's transitioned into a career path. And I mean, for me, you know, I don't desire unattainable things, you know, but I do desire something that's greater than my greatest expectations. So by saying that, what I mean is that everything I do, and, you know, YouTube, IrixGuy's Adventure Channel is just one of the small things that I do. I love doing this. It's fun. It's a way to relax, you know, have me a premium rum or, you know, whatever, and just, you know, enjoy all of y'all here on chat. It's the experiences in life that matter, you know, going out, being able to have the means to travel. I never had the means to travel. You know, had I not started this lawn mowing business, I would not have had the means to travel. But being able to travel and have that opportunity and interact with people and to create stories and share those stories on YouTube has really created an opportunity that I never knew existed. I never would have thought would have existed, but it's gotten me to where I am now, which isn't that big. You know, I'm only at about 80,000 subscribers, so it's not where it needs to be. But it's the journey, it's the experience. You know, so many people, whatever the profession may be. It could be, you know, a top-paying profession, a medical profession. It could be a, you know, a profession in finance or law. You know, whatever that profession may be, people do, they perform their routine day to day. And as you probably know, you know, having lived life alongside all of everybody else, you probably realize that that whether it's an 8 to 5 or a 9 to 6 or a, you know, whatever the hours may be, you probably realize that people fall into routines, and those routines become unhealthy because it's the passing of a day. It's the passing of a day without any reward. I mean, it's just, okay, well, that's one day. This is number 2. This is day number 3. I mean, ultimately, there's a ticker. It's called a watch. There's a ticker. You know, there's only 24 hours in a day, and there's only so many hours in one's life. So can you say that you've enjoyed and you've completely experienced life if all that you do is a by-the-book 8 to 5, 6, whatever the hours may be type job? Have you truly understood, and have you truly experienced life? So, you know, that's the question. And that's why, you know, the people that fascinate me the most, the people that always have fascinated me the most are the entrepreneurs. You know, people that are willing to step out on a limb and take a risk. You know, go into those uncharted waters and take a risk because they want to question, well, what's next? You know, what's over that? You know, if I go across that ocean, what's over there? Or if I climb that mountain, what's on the other side? You know, just wanting to know the unknown and being able to enjoy the journey along the way. And I think that's what's missing. I know that's what's missing in society today. There's so many people that they don't have they have zero ambition. And that's fine. But there's the people that have zero ambition, and there's the people that expect handouts, which, in my opinion, that's not right. You know, if you have no ambition, that doesn't mean you're entitled to receive a handout. What we're seeing in society today is the shift towards socialism, and I don't like that, because what we're seeing in society today is, well, you don't have to do anything. I always wanted my big things, and it wasn't all material things. It was accomplishments. And, I had a structured list of milestones, and I still have that. But today, what I see and what I feel is that people don't have those ambitions. And I think part of it is because they're not put to push themselves to discover and pursue those ambitions. You know, they're part of the problem. And part of the problem is this socialist mentality. Everybody should be equal. You know, why should you be any different than anybody else? Political correctness, PC plays a big part of the problem, because what we're seeing is, you know, people, not just people, but mentors or would-be mentors, they can't speak the truth, and they can't say, well, they can't acknowledge that someone on their team seems to have a gift, and they can't push them in the right direction, because if they tried to push from a politically correct perspective, if they tried to push one teammate, then they could be putting down the other teammates. It's so messed up the way that society malfunctions, because what has happened is that, you know, we're seeing, you know, lack of ambition, and it's not necessarily the individual stakeholders lack ambition. It's the overall regime is trying to push that feeling of equality among everyone. And when you're pushing a feeling of equality, you're suppressing the ability for brilliant people to really succeed. And that's why I hate socialism. And, you know, hate is such a strong word, but I think it's appropriate in this situation. And, you know, and that's one of the biggest problems plaguing society today. It's not the fake news alone. I mean, the news is full of filth. You know, whether you're on the left side or the right side, the news is fake. The media are corrupt. There's no doubt about it. But it's just a situation where, you know, you've got to choose what's best for yourself. And, you know, and I'll twist this a little bit in a potentially unexpected direction here. You know, a lot of us have assumed, you know, at least the norm, air quotes, the norm, let's say 20 years ago, maybe even more than that. Let's just say 1950s through 1990s. Let's say the norm during that time frame was, you know, you've got to go to college, you've got to get a degree in whatever specialty, and that's what you're going to do. And that's what you're going to work for the rest of your life. You know, and the people that had the better degrees, you know, the lawyers and the doctors, they probably made more money. That's not the case anymore. Today, it's all about entrepreneurship. And Tech for Your Needs says, your purpose in life. Do you know your worth? Ask the question to yourself. Many people don't know their purpose in life if they are going through life because it's just part of life. So many people. And Tech for Your Needs, just to piggyback off of what, so many people aren't purpose, which is fine. I mean, that's a personality preference. But so many people aren't driven. But even if one doesn't know their purpose in life, they should proactively identify their purpose in life, and they should have others that try to proactively approach them and say, you know what? You know, I saw what you did with this. That was really good. Have you ever thought about a career in blah, blah, blah? That's the problem today because of all this political correctness, this PC stuff, afraid to offer advice. People are afraid to encourage members of a team because, well, they may be offending other people that may not be as capable. The reality is that people, you get a group of people, let's just say 5 people. Of those 5 people, they're maybe that's brilliantly talented. And they grossly trump the performance of everyone else. That makes sense. But in today's world, what would happen is that, you know, they couldn't, the leader of that team couldn't acknowledge their accomplishments because if they did, they would potentially, it would be potential discrimination, you know, with the other people on the team. And it's stupid. You know, I hate political correctness. Wrong word, and I acknowledge that, but I'll say it anyway because I don't care. This is my channel, and I can say it like I want to say it. I'm not part of a media outlet. Independent. Yeah, I mean, it's just, the world is what you make it. And, you know, I'm not here to be. Here's the thing. I want a bunch of money. You know, and everybody asks, well, what's your number? You know, everybody's got a number. My number is modest. My number is $12 million US. So once I achieve $12 million US, and you got to factor in inflation and all that, once I achieve $12 million US, I will feel that I can probably relax. I can probably do nothing except the thing and excite my family. So once I hit that $12 million US mark, I think that I'll be able to just step back from everything. You know, there's no longer the need for competition. It's just do what you want to do and be happy. I think the bull number, you know, in 2020 and 2021. I mean, who knows what 2021 is going to bring? You know, I may have grossly downplayed that $12 million, you know, milestone. I mean, who knows? But I mean, it's just, you know, at the end of the day, which is an overused term, with professors hated that. And I hate it too, but I'll use it. At the end of the day, it's what makes you feel good. And, you know, it's a tough thing. I mean, you know, life is hard. Life is mean. Life is vicious. You know, we're all part of this unknown existence. I mean, this existence that we, you know, we're part of this planet. You know, in our day-to-day, our 24 hours that we see, you know, the sun rises and the sun sets, you know, we've got a concept of time. We can create fire and we can cook food and we can drink water. But, you know, the unknown is just you know, what is all of this for? And, you know, surprisingly, you know, without injecting the religious component, which, you know, people that are religious, people that are not religious, that's not a topic that I'm going to discuss. But just looking at the big picture here, you know, people have a limited time in this plane of existence. I mean, Philippe says, not everybody can be a lawyer or a doctor. We need all kinds of people. No doubt. Dude, without a doubt, all power to you. High five, man. Because, yeah, I mean, those are just two examples of two, you know, well-known professions from many years ago. I mean, there's professions now that make a lot more than doctors and lawyers, but they're hard to explain. Dude, we need everything, man. I mean, professional chefs. We need professional athletes. Yeah, not everybody can be Michael Jordan. We need professional politicians. Hopefully politicians that'll pursue the best future tomorrow for everyone. And politicians, I hate politicians because they're all fluff and fake. You know, I mean, it's just kind of is what it is. But ultimately what we need is a world full of opportunity. And whatever you're doing, you know, you're cutting hair, you're cooking food, you're delivering food, you're delivering medical supplies, you're a doctor, you're a lawyer, you're a computer programmer, you're a security person, you know, you make sure everything's safe. You do cybersecurity. Hold on. Hiccups. You do cybersecurity. You make sure networks are secure, servers are secure, workstations are secure. You know, whatever is your need, you know, there's so many things. Philippe says, guess what? When you get 12 million, you want to get 20 million. Remember, you are a capitalist. No, you're right. That is what capitalism is. And I remember a best friend that I had, and I won't mention his name, but a best friend I had from college, and this individual was from Paraguay, South America, and always told me, and he reiterated, and he's not a billionaire yet, but he's worth hundreds of millions. What he always preached to me when we would go out and drink Guinness and other beers, what he would always preach to me is that, you know, once you hit it big, It's not going to be the matter of which jet you want to buy. It's going to be the type of interior that you want for that jet. I mean, basically implying that, you can never really get everything you want, because once you get everything you want, or you think that you've gotten everything that you want, there's always going to be more. There's going to be the refinements. It's just like, well, the jet's not enough. You got to have the custom paint job. You got to have the custom interior. You got to have the TV inside or the sound system inside that trumps everyone else's private jet. It's just a crazy thing, man. Jake says, one fogger, disinfectant spraying device. First responders, too. My friend from Cuba sent me a picture of a truck that identified as COVID-19 decontamination unit / mosquito fogger truck with 2 serpent systems. Don't forget us first responders. Yeah, no doubt, man. Y'all do. Yeah, and that's part of the medical thing. I mentioned medical earlier. I would lump first responders into that. Philippe says, I'm going to Cuba on January 10th. Guess what? Cuba only has 137 deaths from COVID-19. That's right, because COVID-19 has been weaponized in the United States of America. That's why. And I'm not saying it's fake. Y'all don't twist that on me. I'm not saying it's a fake virus, but I'm saying it's been weaponized by the media. But, yeah, man, I mean, it's a crazy, a mean, a nasty, and a vicious world that we all live in. There's no doubt about it. There is no doubt about it. But it's what we make of ourselves and how we better encourage others that makes this existence on what do we call Earth, planet Earth, makes it more worthwhile, Because ultimately, we're all just little drones doing meaningless tasks. And some of the drones are doing better, and they've got nicer toys, and who knows? I mean, honestly, if I was a Russian billionaire on a $1 billion yacht, it would be an interesting experience, because it's like, yeah, you've made it, but the disappointing aspect of it would be, well, I'm a Russian billionaire. I've got a $1 billion yacht. I got my helicopter. I got all my fleet of private jets and this, that, and the other. But it's what else can you achieve? If, you've achieved all of that, ultimately, I mean, hopefully it wasn't gifted to you, because that's no good. But if you'd actually earned all of that, and, looking back, it's like, well, what did I miss out on by achieving this? And then looking forward and saying, hey, I've achieved all of this, but, what's next? Once you've hit that level, there's really not much more. I mean, and I think, I think there's value, and it's not necessarily financial value. Oh, Brad, Merry Christmas, man. It was good. I hope y'all had a good Christmas as well. And you got the Mac Mini too. Very cool. Very cool. But I think the real value, and it's not financial value, but I think the real value is freedom, and freedom is just, having time, and having time that you can say, I don't have to do this, or I don't want to do this. Just having time to do whatever you choose to do. And that choice could be nothing. I mean, that choice could be, maybe just the personal need for just a time to zone out, a few hours to zone out, a few days to zone out, maybe a few days to go backpacking, whatever your pursuits, whatever your personal interests may be, being able to do that. And that's with, with the hectic nature, rather, of society nowadays, is that, time is often stripped away. Time is often stripped away because people, I'm trying to think of a good way to put this. They don't, never make yourself too available. Never make yourself too accessible. Because if you do, what's probably going to happen is that you're probably going to have someone abuse you. And even if they don't publicly come out and say, hey, they're abusing you, the reality is that they see that you don't have a path, that you don't value your own time. Therefore, they feel that they can slip in and take away your time. Time is money. I think time is the most valuable asset that many of us realize that we don't even have. And that's just to do nothing. And like Philippe said, people are surviving with only $20 a month. Insanity. This is an extreme. Philippe, you know what I have to say? This shutting down of businesses and all of that, it's horrible. Because shutting down of businesses, you shut down a business in a town. I mean, that's potentially one person's, one family, or one individual's bread and butter. That's their only business. You shut them down, you're in essence saying you don't get paid. It'd be like someone working for and I'm not going to insert a corporation's name here because I don't want to give anybody a bad name, but insert employee XYZ for multi-billion-dollar corporation XYZ, and they say you can't work. Well, it's a little bit different because when that restriction concludes, that person for that multi-billion-dollar corporation can go, because that multi-billion-dollar corporation likely survived the shutdown. You got your mom and pop business that shut down for a week or maybe even just a few days. They may not be able to recover from that. Their business may go belly up. That business may not reopen its doors. So, it's right now with all of this, it's horrible to see, what the people in power are doing. And I mean, shutting down business, I feel that everything should be open. I mean, there could be a reasonable amount of risk if you feel that the virus is real. And I do feel that it's real, but quite frankly, I do believe that it's been heavily weaponized. And I'm not downplaying the severity, the potential, the key word, potential severity of the virus, but I do firmly believe that it has been, heavily weaponized. And I think that, my fear, at least for the United States of America, my fear is that come January 2021, my fear is that, we may, unfortunately, the United States of America may experience another big shutdown. And I think that's going to be devastating, not just for that point in time, but devastating for the many years after that. I mean, I think it's a situation where it's potentially going to destroy America. And I hate to say that, but I think, these shutdowns, it's not the solution. And I know there are people that innovate, and I know that there are people, oh, Brad, watching on my MacBook Pro 16 gigs of RAM with 2 terabytes. Nice choice, man. Nice choice. Cheers. But yeah, we got to put business first. And I'm not saying put business ahead of health, but I'm saying, and Brad says he got a new updated office set up. Very cool. Did you do any LED lights under your desk or that sort of stuff? And sometimes it just feels good to just like scratch your head, man. It's just like you feel real, it's like I'm alive, man. Yeah, it's just, the lockdown, like Jake says, after today, Canada is back in lockdown until sometime in January. It's going to screw up the entire, not just the United States economy, not just Canada's economy. It's going to screw up the worldwide economy. And the thing is with this is that, not every person and not every business has the luxury of being able to operate 100% remotely. And, and that begs a question too, and we haven't, but, what's the next level of this? The governments are dictating that, oh, you've got to work remotely and you've got to do this, that, and the other. But what's the next leg of this? When are they going to step up even more and say, well, if you're working remotely, you can't be in an off-site business location with more than X number of employees. How are they going to, further restrict doing business. I mean, ultimately, Jake, good to have you, sir. Thanks for coming in, man. Thanks for coming in as always. But, you know, how are they going to further mess up, you know, what we have? I mean, this economy is already failing. Well, actually, the economy right now in the United States is actually pretty good. The Dow's over 30,000, I think. I mean, it's doing good. But come January, you know, if things aren't fixed, it's going to plummet. And it's going to plummet like a rock with chains tied to it and an Abrams tank on top of it, sending it to the bottom faster. So, you know, I mean, it is, Brad says, I had the virus back in September. I haven't been able to smell anything since. 3+ months, no smell. Well, Brad, the good thing about that, man, no, that'd be bad. I'm not gonna say it. Karumbum, hey, you had the question about the IC4s. You had the question. I remember your question. You had the question about the IC4 hitting the thighs, man, hitting the thighs. Yeah, Karumbum had a great question about the IC4. It's the bike that I use, and he was asking, does it hit your thighs? Does the Schwinn IC4 touch your thighs? And I filmed a video, man. Did that video answer your question, man? Philippe says, which one is more important, money or life? Lockdown, 350,000 dead. Imagine no lockdown. How many people would die? Here's the thing. Are those deaths... Here's a question. Can you go and say, okay, these numbers on paper, I can't believe anything the media says. And I'm not denying that the virus is real, because I think the virus is real. But can you go and say, okay, this person actually died from the virus, or they have pre-existing health conditions? If you actually had the power to go and look at all that, see, they're weaponizing this. And the thing is, they've created a virus that's just dangerous enough, or perceived as being dangerous enough, to where they can use the media and the other outlets to inflate the severity of it to make it seem everybody not work. Because ultimately what they want to do, you know, the undercurrents, the Illuminati and all that, what they want to do is come in and they want to strip away everyone's motivation, strip away everyone's freedoms, and they want to take over the world, and they want to turn us into a socialist nation. And it's not a good thing. Brad says, not yet, dual setup book and LG monitor. Very cool. I use the LG as well, man. Good choice. Ruben, I'm the one commenting on your IC4 videos. Dude, I appreciate that. And I hope the video helped, man. And any other questions you have, Ruben, please ask, because I'll be happy to. I got the IC4 right over there, man. I'll be happy to try to answer anything I can. And Cal C says, man, this is a depressing chat. It is depressing. Sometimes reality is not all sugar-coated and full of butterflies and flamingos. So, you know, it just is what it is, man. It's a depressing society that we're in right now. You know, it's not, you know, this is not the fake news. This is just, you know, let's tell it how it is. So, you know, I'm not trying to spin anyone in any direction. I'm just trying to, or what I feel is the truth. You know, we're all subject to our own opinions. Ruben says, I didn't see it yet. I don't think it's uploaded. Oh, you know what? I think you're right. Let me, Ruben, I'm checking it right now, sir. Oh, does it touch my thighs? You're right. It is not uploaded yet. Let me, probably going to be a few more hours because it's still uploading. Man, I feel so telling you about the video. Does the Schwinn IC4 touch my thighs? And Oh, no. Where did this... I gotta find this here. I was somewhat... I was... Dude, I'm sitting here looking for this video. I'm like, where'd it go? And I'm like, where'd it go? And it's because I'm on my other computer. I got two Macs, man. I got my Mac Mini M1 and my MacBook Air M1. And I'm sitting over here, Air M1. I'm trying to find my video for Kerubin. And I got it on this other Mac. Let me see what I got here. Hold on. Does the Swin IC4 rub my thighs? There we go, man. It is on its way. And that's, speaking of that, so everybody else is watching out here, that is a great question. And Tech for Your Needs says, I have an LG 27 4K. You know what's funny? The monitor that I'm looking at right now across the room is the LG 27-inch 4K. And I think that's your best bet, because if you get into the, and yours is probably IPS as well, in-plane switching. If you get into the large monitors, a lot of them are VA panels, which are good for gaming, but not other purposes. Not as good for other purposes. And then you get into the ultra wides, you don't get the full 3840 by 21. So I think you've hit the sweet spot, man. And LG is good. It is good stuff. Philippe says, January 5th, we will know for sure if this country will become a socialist country. Georgia election. Stay tuned. Philippe, and this is going to blow your, well, maybe not blow your mind because you've probably seen it. And I'm not a conspiracy guy. And guys, I want to throw this out there. I am not political. I am just some dumb redneck, and I don't know anything about what's going on in this world. With my disclosure, another draft. Oh, Philippe, hold on. Hold that thought. Philippe made my day. So this is my other drink. This is 1703 Old Cask Selection Mount Gay 1703. This is from Barbados. This is a Bajan rum. It's gonna take a little bit of it. This is expensive. I brought it back from Barbados, but since Philippe donated $10, there's my $10 right there. And we're gonna continue this story about this Mount Gay 703. Is that this top, it's got a cork in it, but it's so heavy. I mean, when you pull this out, a part of anything, whether it's a car door or a premium rum or whatever type of spirit, when you pull that off and it's got a cork in it, and then it's got a heavy weight to it, it's the weight, it's the feel. You know, how does it feel in your hands? You know, that creates the perception of something that's great or something that's ordinary. This is not an ordinary. So with that being said, let me put this back over there, and we're going to continue the story about Georgia. So I'm not a conspiracy theorist. And Philippe, you got your monitor. That's cool. We all got 27-inch monitors. And we're going to talk about Georgia, because Philippe said January the 5th, we will know for sure if this will become a socialist country. Georgia election, stay tuned. Check this out. If you watch the current event, watch the news, and again, I'm not a conspiracy theorist, but if you look at the recent thing that happened and the AT&T internet outage, and if you look on you go Google and you look at AT&T outage, you know, places impacted. Look at that, and you look at the map of where things are impacted. Georgia is prominent. So, and again, I'm not a tourist, but, you know, one could go on the internet without watching the fake news. One could go on the internet, They could Google that, could potentially see a chart of where the AT&T outage is. And if they did that, they may see that, oh, a lot of us in So I guess where I'm going is that, don't trust the media. Do your own due diligence and develop your own opinions. But I think that what said, January the 5th, we will know for sure if this country will become a country. That could not have been a more true. And it's a sad uncertainty that we're all part of right now. I mean, especially us, primarily being capitalists, primarily being small business owners, primarily being people that want to create a better tomorrow for ourselves and our families. And see, the shackles that society is now, it's tied up, it's nasty, it's vicious, it's nasty. It's not a good thing. And to think that we're all part of that plague, part of that problem. And, how can we dig ourselves out of this? And unfortunately, even if we may believe that other people that exist are so-called normal people, that doesn't matter. Because I think the majority is overwhelmingly normal. But I think what we're seeing are the hidden political and technological undercurrents that are manipulating the results. Undercurrent that's going to propel, and I hope it doesn't, but there's a hidden undercurrent existed for a long time, and I think it's trying to propel this society into a state of socialism, where everybody is just equal. Nobody, there's no reason to live life, no reason to do better, on your couch and eat your fat food and don't do anything, just scratch your butt. That's kind of the kind of what I think things are heading, unfortunately, and it's a sad reality. And let's see, who was it that tuned in earlier and said this? Kyle said, "Man, this is depressing live chat." Yeah, just like Kyle said, this is depressing. This is potentially we're potentially seeing the steps toward socialism, and it's not cool. We need to wise up and see what's going on. This is not, Philippe says, yes, I saw the news. I didn't think about it. Yeah. So Nashville was attacked, but the result of that, look at the AT&T outage, you will see that it's predominantly in Georgia. So, it's, and the timing, something that happened on Christmas Day when they probably felt that a lot of people may not be at work and a lot of people, may be with, it's all suspicious. I don't trust anyone. The government is corrupt. The media are corrupt. It doesn't matter what side of the fence you're on. Everyone is corrupt. But the bottom line is just go to Google and search for AT&T outage area affected. You can pull up a bunch of maps and you can see, the scope of impact. It's not sugarcoated. It's not like saying go to a news site. I'm saying go to Google and search for it and find a bunch of third-party sites that monitor that sort of stuff. So, it is what it is. Yeah, and the sad part is, and Philippe, thanks again for the drink, man. This Mount Gay from Barbados is freaking awesome, dude. Yeah, we don't know what's next. And when I'm saying I'm just saying society as a whole. The people that are in positions of influence, they probably know what's next. This is a very corrupt society that we're all part of. And I'm not just saying our government. I'm saying, governments everywhere. This is greater than just one government. This is a societal shift. They're trying to push people into socialism. They're trying to strip away people's rights. And what better way to do that than to set the stage for everybody's the same. You know, you can't achieve. You know, it doesn't matter what you. That's it's just sickening. I mean, it really is. I mean, to think that, you know, things could be manipulated. I mean, we're not. I firmly don't. I firmly feel that we're not part of a society that is so anti-success. And success doesn't just mean dollar amount. Success means, you know, being able to pursue your passions. You know, whether it's a $10 an hour job or a $50 an hour job, it doesn't matter. You know, you're doing what you want to do. You know, socialism suppresses any sort of individuality. You know, what you want to do doesn't matter. In the socialist society, you know, everybody's equal. You know, whether you feel that your profession is the ladder or should be at the top of the ladder, or if you feel that your profession is just a hobby and you're just getting by. In a socialist society, everyone is a pot of nothingness. And I mean, it's just sick. You know, I mean, we gotta. The sad part is, I say we gotta. But the bottom line is that we, as a group of like-minded individuals, we can't control this sinking ship. You know, we can do things that may stall the sinking. You know, may instill some doubt and things that may prevent. May delay the sinking ship, but ultimately, it's all undercurrents, man. I mean, in this world, and I don't want to get into conspiracy stuff, but I mean, there's undercurrents in this world that I don't know anything about because I'm not part of that circle. But I mean, there's undercurrents in this world that people do know about, you know, that have leaked and have shared their knowledge public, and it's. I mean, we're on a sinking ship, man. I mean, socialism. I would say if we're not careful, is right around the corner. The bottom line is that I don't know how we're going to avoid it. And with that being the case, you know, I will challenge everyone here. You know, what is your plan B? What is your bug out plan? Do you have a way to escape? You know, this society collapses. Is there a society that's less bad? If you woke up tomorrow and everything was in shambles, you know, your day job and your day job and your, years of service. Let's say that you've climbed the ladder. You know, you climbed the ladder. You know, you've gone from nothing to the CEO. You know, you've done that. Guess what? In a social society, that means nothing. So what are you going to do? What's your plan B? What is your exit plan? You know, that's something that a lot of us have not pondered. I've got my exit plan. And I don't know, you know, things can change, but my exit plan is Costa Rica. I think that Costa Rica is a pretty good destination. It's, I think there's opportunity for growth down there. You know, I think it would be an enjoyable environment. Sure, there's what they call it, the 5-step snake or whatever, that'll bite you and it'll kill you in a few minutes. It's kind of risky. But what's worse, that snake or the socialist government? I mean, who knows? Philippe says, I want to go to Great Exuma, Bahamas. Dude, that's on my list. And what I want to do down there, and I hadn't been, and if you beat me there, if I beat you there, I'll tell you how it is. I want to get the down there and those pigs that get in the water and pigs in the Exumas. I think that'd be cool, man. You know, that's one thing. When you go to the Caribbean, and I mean, all of this is subject to change because, you know, we get taken over by socialism. Who knows what's going to happen? But, you know, one of the cool things about the Caribbean, at least from what I've experienced, is that there's definitely a political undercurrent, but I wouldn't go as far as to say that the political undercurrent really changes. the day-to-day life. It's a simplistic lifestyle. People live in a great place. They they get their necession, and then the other stuff shipped in. So it doesn't seem too difficult. And granted, I don't live there, so if you live differently, I didn't mean to offend you, because I'm sure there's some challenges. But yeah, we're on the cusp of collapse. We definitely are. It's not a good. Not a good thing, Governor. Not a good thing, Governor. Not a good thing. So I mean, it's one of those things that how it is. It's definitely how it is. So I never want to be a pessimistic person. But, sometimes in life and sometimes with the current political situation, you got to just be a realist. And I think I've turned more into the realist than I have. I forgot. Philippe bought me that nice sip of rum, and I forgot the sound of the super chat to celebrate Philippe's super. That was in celebration of super chat, which is deeply appreciated. Seriously, man. I mean, I would not have poured a sip of rum had you not done that, because who knows how long it's going to be before I feel good to get in an airport and go travel down the Caribbean, or get in my boat and go down. Those are premium spirits. You can't, I mean, maybe in some places in the United States, if you got connections, you get that. But that's something you pretty much got to be here in the British West Indies to get, or the British Virgin Islands to get that stuff. I appreciate it. One more super chat. Sound of the super chat. Appreciate it. Brad, thoughts on 2020 DJ, man? Dude, that stuff in the news, this is scary. That stuff about, I keep scratching my head just because it feels good, man. I cut my hair in clippers, and I got in the bathroom with clippers and just kind of cut it, and I still got my hair falling out because it's just, I don't know, man. I think FPV drone is pretty good possibility, and I think that's probably amplified by the fact that there's been a lot of stuff in the news about drones, and I hate that stuff about, Chinese drones and this, that, and the other, and I'm afraid of what might happen. And I don't want to speculate because I love drones, but who knows? I don't know. Yeah, Philippe, that's what I was talking about. Philippe says, did you hear that DJI USA? I don't think they're banned yet. I don't think that's the case, but the way the media painted that article to be, that would seem to be the takeaway. I think they're not banned, at least to my knowledge. They're not banned currently, but I can kind of see how the media is trying to twist that, and they're into that, and I hate that. That's what I'm saying. I don't, given the uncertainties of society as a whole, with socialism and this, that, and the other, given those uncertainties, what are the rights they're going to be stripped away. I mean, which rights are going to be stripped away? Point just there. Did you hear that DJI is banned in the USA? Dude, that's another uncertainty. I mean, it's scary. It is super scary, man. Scary stuff. So, we don't know. And that's, the fear of the unknown. One of the greatest fears in life is the fear of the unknown, because you don't know what you're afraid of. You just know you're afraid. So, I mean, it's... Now, Tech for Your Needs, DJI is not banned in the U.S., but there's been several articles about the interwebs talking about DJI drones. Just Google it, and you'll see. I mean, it's just... afraid of where that may lead. I know right now it seems to be, in my opinion, it seems to be a lot of fluff. But, again, I'm afraid of where that may head, so... Well, Philippe, you bought me this drink, man, and I tell you, it's going to be my last drink because I'm going to go to sleep. You got me a good drink, and I appreciate that, and I'll do you another super chat just for the heck of it. Appreciate the super chat. So, well, Philippe, I drank your entire drink. I didn't put it down in the bar. I didn't walk off to the restroom, pick it back up. So, on this note, we've been going about an hour and a half. I appreciate everyone tuning in. Again, I appreciate your